series of Doctor Who, and on this podcast we discuss our likes, dislikes, and insights of the modern regeneration of the show. Today's episode is episode 11, Boomtown. The Raxacoricofallapatorians are back, or at least one of them is. Let's go around and introduce ourselves. This is Eugene.
Hi, this is Frank.
Hi, this is Brian.
This here's Josh.
I'm Auburn.
And Boomtown is written by Russell T. Davies, directed by Joe Ahern. It aired on the 4th of June, 2005, and its initial ratings were 7.13 million viewers. The episode begins with a recap of previous episodes, and I think this is the first time we have this, plus a cold open that doesn't involve the main characters. Right?
Is it really the first time there was a previously on?
I think so. Have you seen this in another? I don't remember.
I'm just thinking of the two-parters.
That's different.
Yeah.
This one is a standalone that doesn't have a preceding episode tying
can't think of
directly
any.
in.
Then it probably does because it refers to so many things from that other episode.
The previous episodes that it's referring to are Aliens of London and World War III, leaving no doubt that the Slitheen are involved. It's 6 months after the destruction of 10 Downing Street. Blon Fel-Fotch Passameer-Day Slitheen is in the guise of Margaret Blaine, and she has survived and has become the mayor of Cardiff. Mr. Cleaver, the government's nuclear advisor, informs her of the fault in the design of the nuclear power plant she is planning to have built. Once she is certain that he has told no one else of his findings, she kills him. The TARDIS then lands in the center of Cardiff with the Doctor, Rose, and Captain Jack on board. It is parked on a sealed rift in time and space, using the rift energy to refuel the TARDIS. And the rift that we are landing on is the one from The Unquiet Dead, the one that the Gelth had opened up.
And Gwyneth.
And Gwyneth, yeah.
Shuts, so it's nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because that was Cardiff as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But in the...
Oh, the one that they actually opened
1869.
Yes, 18.
Interesting.
Yeah. So all the way back there. Anyway.
And I wonder if we're ever going to see this rift again.
Mickey arrives all the way from London, bringing Rose her passport.
I thought it was really funny with the music. How Mickey gets off the train and it's all la la la, everything's beautiful kind of music.
I'm on a travel log.
Yeah. The refueling process will take at least another day, so they all leave to get something to eat and explore the city. And we get sort of a Mary Poppins reference here when the Doctor says winds in the east. I don't know if anybody else caught that.
I caught it when you mentioned it.
Right now? Just kidding. Edit out that. I don't like that pause. Edit that out too.
They also give a full explanation of the TARDIS again.
And I like it.
Yeah, I like it, but it just kind of makes me wonder, was the episode short and they needed to fill?
But it also makes me wonder why Mickey doesn't know of the police boxes.
Yeah. Well, no, he wouldn't because he's too young.
But, you know, in history, I don't know.
People don't know
these things?
history.
Did you know about police boxes before there was a...
No, but I didn't grow up in London, so I'm just saying.
Yeah. I just thought it was, it was a very good recap of what the TARDIS and why it looks that way.
Yeah.
No, there were probably, I think, they didn't mention it at all in this series yet, have they?
Not to this extent.
No, well, yeah, people are going to be asking who don't know. I think, like,
That's
what is this
true.
Doctor Who
That's
show? Why
true.
does it look like that? You know, it's answering, potential fan questions.
True.
It's also that the Doctor likes it.
Yeah,
He
he
likes
likes
it.
it.
That I do like.
I could change it.
I don't want to.
Fix it, but no. But I thought the show that... Oh, go ahead.
I was just also going to say that those two scenes, the one right outside the TARDIS and the one inside the TARDIS, Jack's already fully integrated into the
system.
They're a
The
trio now.
He's not even wearing his uniform.
And they're high-fiving each other.
Where did he get
But
the
they said,
costume, though?
Well, that's what something about Jack. They said
Have you seen
in the
that
last
closet?
episode, or 2 episodes now, that Jack dresses for the time period he is in.
What is he
So he
dressing?
blends in.
But what does he dress? What time period? Like the bomber jacket? Is he doing like Top Gun? That's weird.
Yeah,
Not
but he's
flight
more
jacket, not
contemporary,
bomber
just
jacket.
Yeah, the jacket was a bit much, but just the blue shirt, he's changed. His hair's changed.
Yeah, but he goes back to that.
But he's always to fit in, at least when they first started with Jack. He's to fit in. He's a time agent, so that's what they would do. You find out what the period is like, what to wear. And you would not really look at him at second glance as
not
he's
at
walking around.
Oh, I'd give him a second glance.
Well, that's true. But not, well, I guess because we're married. Okay. And if John Barrowman's listening, hi, John. Anyway, but the doctor was always wearing the same thing. So that's something that it continued on through this, which is great. And also I noticed that Mickey is such the odd man out when it comes to this group.
Yeah.
Because they probably have gone on, they might have gone on other adventures.
Well, they did.
Together.
Yeah.
You know, since the last time I saw them, which was just World War II. So it seems like Jack's been with them for a while before this episode.
Oh, absolutely. I get that sense too.
And then they have the whole into time
he's really
and space grouping that they have.
And they have that chemistry that you wouldn't get from just one episode that we saw
Right.
him last. Where am I? Their refueling process will take at least another day, so they all have to get something to eat and explore the city. While having a genuinely good time at the restaurant, the Doctor sees Margaret Blaine on the front page of a newspaper. Fun time is over.
That's one thing when we see the press conference and she gets upset saying no pictures. I'm sorry. You're the mayor of Cardiff, which means you're a politician, and you expect people not to take photos of you? I mean, I see why it works for the script and the plot, but still, it's just kind of like, yeah, that would never happen.
But wasn't that the same picture they just took
Yes.
30 seconds ago across town?
It was the evening edition.
It's a little quick.
It just seemed like also that scene should have been before they left out of the TARDIS, at least to give an idea of time has gone on.
He ran straight to the press.
Stop the presses.
But
back to
when Jack was saying, "Oh no, it has nothing to do with me," that's more John Barrowman, and that was the fun Jack that we all liked from the Doctor Who series before he goes over to Torchwood, where it becomes a lot more serious and just downer and depressing. But this was all the light fun, having a good time, and they seemed to really have a good time. It seemed like a fun story.
And we could discuss that on Torchwood New.
No, I'm just saying it's his characters now really becoming part of Doctor Who.
Yes.
We had the World War II, but he's like, okay, now you're part of this. You are a companion. And how it's so different from what it ended up on Torchwood.
Yes.
I just wanted to make that.
Back at the press conference, to rewind a little bit, Margaret Blaine is confronted by a reporter, Kathy Salt, about all the bad luck and deaths surrounding the power plant project. Miss Salt tells her that Mr. Cleaver posted some of his findings online before his death. Margaret takes Kathy to a secluded restroom and plans to kill her, but has a change of heart when she finds out that Kathy is pregnant.
Well, all those deaths that she's talking about, too, are obvious faked accidents where Margaret has killed somebody.
The best one is the one where she runs the guy over.
The architect. He said, my car, it was raining. I couldn't see. So she did that on her own. But also love all the safety inspectors were killed. Well, they're French.
There was one. It was an icy patch. A very icy patch. And Margaret Blaine is wearing a lot of jewelry, a lot of bling, if you will, around her neck. It's very present.
That's
how it is?
her office.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the seal.
She just looks like she likes it.
Yeah, they do that in some. I don't think like the mayor of London has one.
Okay.
The mayor of Cardiff would have.
Got
one.
it.
Yeah, it's a British thing.
Like a police box.
That was not jewelry. I mean, she didn't wake up and go, "This will look stunning." That's her office.
This really holds the outfit together, pulls the outfit together.
Yeah.
No, okay.
It's
good.
like, a lawyer goes into their courts and wears the robes.
And the wig.
I don't know if they still wear the wig, but...
Sometimes.
Yeah, but they still wear the robes. And
Just wanted to point that out there for our non-British viewers, listeners, whatever.
No,
And Margaret is lonely.
it wasn't just the pregnancy, but she hesitated to kill Kathy when Kathy had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And that's the hesitation that she is lonely. She is all alone, and they're trying to make you feel for her. It doesn't work because it's still who she is and what she's going to do.
Well,
But she is lonely, and it is a family that she misses.
Well, I'm also glad that we didn't get much flatulence in this one. It was more of just like a rumbling of
Yeah, this was definitely more serious tone.
Yeah. So I
mean, they
appreciate that.
left it in, I think, just as callbacks.
As a connecting tissue, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they kind of toned down on that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. After that scene, it didn't happen
No,
again.
not at all.
And I don't know about you, but I hate changing in the bathroom.
It's a big bathroom. They call it the toilet there, with the WC,
Lou?
the water closet.
Lou?
Lou. I don't know about Lou. He goes in the men's room.
The Doctor and his gang go to City Hall.
But back to the dinner when they're having so much fun.
Oh, is it lunch or dinner?
Well, if it's an evening
It's
edition, it
daytime.
must be, but it must be
Whatever. Later.
dinner.
Daylight savings. They have that there.
Go ahead.
You know, and Jack is telling that story. You know,
Yeah.
the 12, 15 guys all naked.
With the tusks.
Yeah. Well, there's a part of me thinking, that's just Barrowman telling a real story from his real life. Isn't he? he's just, you know, there wasn't anything in the script. They said, just tell a story. I just keep imagining him going, oh yeah, this really happened to me and I'm going to tell it.
Only the adverbs are changed to protect the innocent. So the Doctor and his gang go to City Hall and capture Blon/Margaret. They discover that she is planning to build the nuclear power plant named Blaidd Drwg. Am I saying that right, guys?
Sounds right.
I think it's Blaidd.
Blaidd.
Yeah.
They pronounce it different ways.
Yeah.
depending
They
on
do.
who's
They-
speaking in the
DD.
show.
Yeah, it's Welsh, for goodness sake.
Well, that on whatever that
No,
is,
it's Welsh for something else.
whatever that is on top of the rift, and then destroy it. When it blows, she can harness the energy from the open rift to propel her out of the solar system on top of an acquired/stolen extrapolator.
Wait, how? We find that out right then?
We have the chase first, don't we?
Yeah, we have
and
the
the
chase
whole
and the time, where she's zapping out of there.
Oh,
he
yes.
zaps her back.
Ocean's 11 entrance and
Yeah, they chase her after. Yeah.
Yeah,
She
and-
runs out of there out
Well,
the
we
window.
just said in the thing they capture her, but no,
But
we can
you can
expand.
Yeah, we can expand on that.
Stress.
I like the sound effect of when the Doctor takes the sonic screwdriver and re-teleports her. It reminds me of like old Hanna-Barbera sound library sound effects, and I love that.
Well, I like the part where he tells her secretary that the doctor's here. Just the name.
And then you hear the cup cup drop,
Right. Yes.
and then he just goes down and says, "Can you come back next week?" And he's like, "She's climbing out the window, isn't she?"
Well, Jack comes in and says, "Okay, this is the plan. We're going in this way." Oh, sorry, Doctor. Go ahead. Good plan. Let's go.
yeah, the whole beginning of this is a lot of fun, lighthearted. It really takes a tone shift though later.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was.
Well,
it was
I mean,
good seeing
But I also like
lighthearted.
that the weapons that they have are phones. It's like
Ah,
we're
yeah.
no guns. We're not taking this way, but it's a way we can connect with each other, and take care of her. But it wasn't a weapons
Right.
aspect. That was kind of a good twist on it.
Yes.
And he, she teleports, he teleports her back. That's what he did with Cassandra. Mm-hmm. So I just caught that this last time. I was like, oh, that's the same thing.
Like he
did with
knows how to
Cassandra.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an established.
Rose even mentions the Doctor is good at teleports.
Yes, he's good at teleport. Yeah,
It's a
I could
set-
do this all day.
It's a setting on his screwdriver.
Yeah. And did we say that the Welsh name means bad wolf?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Because we already talked about.
So everybody, the Welsh name means
Well, and this was our first where they mentioned it in the show that they've been seeing
That they
Bad
see
Wolf
it,
a
yeah.
lot,
We've
and
been
that's
hearing
been
it a lot,
following
but
them.
yeah,
Yeah,
This is the first time they talk about
They
it.
acknowledge it.
Yes.
but the Doctor ends with just blowing it all off.
He's like,
Yeah,
"Eh,
just
whatever."
coincidence.
Oh well.
I read somewhere that Russell T Davies was inspired by Buffy's Big Bad, and so that's probably why it's Big Bad Wolf. Maybe, I don't know. This is just me speculating. But he said that that was an inspiration for him in this new series of Doctor Who that he spearheaded.
so. Up until now, we've heard Bad Wolf in The End of the World, The Unquiet Dead, Aliens of London, Dalek, The Long Game, Father's Day, The Doctor Dances. So we've heard it in a lot of episodes up till now.
That's an amazing
moved on.
coincidence.
Yeah. So the rift that Margaret is planning to use to escape the solar system is also going to be the destruction of the Earth. So the Doctor translates the name of the power plant, and we did that. And he and Rose both comment how they heard that before. And the Doctor plans on taking Blon back to Raxacoricofallapatorian.
Now, she really doesn't care about destroying the planet at all. It's
Not at
it's
all.
Such
Not
a,
at all.
yeah, the planet's going to be destroyed, but I'll get out of here. This is that rattle anthill kind of thing.
Hey, she's just like London, who wouldn't care if Cardiff blew up. Oh my, I've gone native.
That was a good line.
So Blonde tells the Doctor that she has the death penalty, and if he takes her back, he's sentencing her to certain death. He says it's not his problem. They all return to the TARDIS, where Jack integrates the extrapolator into the control console to help charge the TARDIS quicker.
The whole moment where she was telling them that, and then kind of challenging everyone to look her in the eye, I felt like she's killed tons of people already, and they've been saying that, and they look at her as a monster. I like the drama of them feeling that way, feeling guilty, showing them they're not killers. But I also feel like it was a very quick turn. Like, well, what did you think
was going to happen?
Yeah. Like I felt it was a little easy.
Yeah, I wish the Doctor could have maintained that contact.
Yeah, I was.
Rose and
that.
Mickey.
Yeah, that's
they're
fine
kids,
for them.
But the Doctor, he's been hardened already.
Yeah, I was sort of. I mean, I've seen this episode before, but I didn't remember what was going to happen. But I kind of felt like we were going to see Mickey turn away, Rose turn away, Jack turn away, but the Doctor keeps looking at her, but it didn't happen. So I felt like they were trying to pump up that emotion for it, but I didn't think it played because we just saw her kill a bunch of people. She was going to kill that one gal, but didn't.
Yeah.
And then they perfectly explained she was going to blow up the world.
And she has no problem killing
She's
more
no
people.
Problem with it. Hitler didn't even try to blow up the whole world.
I guess, I did want a little bit more feedback out of it because it was kind of the whole death penalty debate.
Yeah, it's a death penalty debate.
Killing a killer, justice or hypocrisy.
Yeah.
I wanted more
I guess it was
depth in that.
It wasn't quite an even debate. It's an even debate when someone accidentally killed someone and they were careless, or they meant to, and it was a fit of rage, or this. This is a monster trying to destroy a planet. Oh no!
Yeah, but it is. I think what they're trying to say is this is still a person standing right in front of them, and it's now your doing,
Right.
Personally, right here, right now, and you have to do it.
Yeah, I get it. I guess I feel it didn't take. It was just too quick of a moment for it to really play well for me.
I mean, I feel where it's like, I'd be like, no, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
I'll take you right back right now because you were going to blow up
Without a second
this whole
thought.
planet. You did kill a lot of people. And, I didn't make the laws on your planet. What am I going to do? Let you go? That's not an option.
I think the big part the Doctor says a little later on is the person who's asking me is a dead face.
Yeah.
It's somebody that you killed
That's
as
a
a
great
living
line.
in.
What was the line? I wrote it down. You're pleading for mercy out of a dead woman's lips.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I like how
quick turn into the darkness in this episode.
I like how Margaret starts this scene in the TARDIS.
Oh yeah.
And she says, "This is different for you, isn't it? Because you have to wait. You can't just leave." And just kind of like, okay. I almost hear Russell in that line. This is one of Russell's overarching things about the Doctor. You just leave because you can. And you don't have, you're a master of time, so you don't have to wait for anything. So when you're done, you leave. But now you can't. And you have to wait this 12 hours, and you're not used to that. And now you have to sit there and think about what's coming up. Instead of just doing it, you have to think about what's coming.
And the consequences.
Of it. And I love that.
It's very convenient for the story that they need to sit on that rift. But do we ever get an explanation of why the TARDIS needs to power up?
It was just kind of needs fuel.
Yeah, that's the impression I got, is they need to do something like that every so often. And hey, look, this will work really well.
I mean, in the overall,
No, I mean
entire series, it's like you don't need to refuel the TARDIS,
and that's why I think it was great that they found a way to explain why we needed to stay here.
Yeah, just a one-off kind of thing. Again, this is one of those examples where, to me, they earn it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think also too, as the series goes on, the TARDIS and the sonic screwdriver become more powerful and fantastical and things like that. Right now, it's sort of grounded in a little bit more
Yes.
Yeah.
sci-fi reality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I thought the actress, Annette Badland, did
Badland.
great.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Mrs. Blonde. I
She's-
thought her and the
Yeah.
scenes between her and Eccleston are great.
That scene
They
at the
do
table.
it really well. Yes. Yes.
Well, I mean,
I loved
good.
her in the two-parter. She was, to me, she was one of the best.
Yeah.
Her and Harriet,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, where I mean, she is in this episode too, but in the first episode, she's really doing scenery chewing, mustache twirling villain.
Yeah. But you buy it.
And you buy it because she does it really well. And in this episode, she does a little bit of that when she needs to, but she also shows that she can do other stuff too, where she is trying to convince everybody, you know.
That she's okay.
And if you didn't know who she was, you'd buy it. You'd
Oh,
let
yeah.
her go. And that's like, wait, I'm forgetting who I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You mean who the
she's
character
so
If she was
good.
doing that to anybody else besides a doctor
Oh, I see.
Say
Yeah,
she
let
did
him
it to
go, 'cause-
Mickey. Well, no,
Yes.
Mickey was in the first two.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know what you
who
mean.
didn't know that who she really was, who she really was blonde, and
Yeah.
what's occurred.
Yeah.
You'd buy into it. You're almost watching it, but it's like, no, I know what you're capable of doing and what you have done and will do.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, as a viewer, like you always hope for redemption of people, and you know, it had been a while since I watched this, so I didn't remember how it turned out, and I was hoping for that redemption, but then they took it from me.
I know.
Yeah.
Not to
Don't go too
go
far.
off on a weird tangent, but I'm gonna.
But you've
just
been
a little
working
bit.
on this one.
Because seems to be what I've been doing every episode to make the Star Trek comparison. It's almost
Engage.
it's almost like she kind of reminds me of the Ferengi. When we got the Ferengi and they were going to be this big bad, they were ridiculous. They were silly. They were stupid. They were, you know, it was just dumb and nobody could take them seriously. And we saw the Slitheen in the first two-parter and they were silly. And it was just kind of like, okay, remember, it's a kid's show, it's a kid's show, it's a kid's show. And then as they moved on in Star Trek, they redeemed the Ferengi a bit, you know. And then you've got characters like Quark, who could have, you know, done by a really good actor and could do all this extra stuff and never lose the Ferenginess about them, right? So when they needed to be silly, they could still be silly. But they could also be deeper and dramatic and effective. And I think that's what Margaret does. She kind of redeems the Slitheen in this episode where she makes them have more depth, have more emotion, and yet still be Slitheen because she's just manipulating everybody, which is what they do really well. Back to Doctor Who.
And yeah, I think Russell said that he was so impressed with Badland's performance in those two episodes that he wanted to bring her back somehow, and he found this
Yay.
as a way of doing that. So the extrapolator is plugged into the console to help it charge quicker. Even with this added power source, they won't be able to leave until morning. Rose confesses to Mickey that she didn't really need her passport, and the two leave for some alone time. Blon plays on the doctor's emotions and asks for a last meal before they take her to her execution. And I like the way that this is covered because the camera is focused on Badland, and the doctor is in the background, and she never turns until like later on in her dialogue. And I think that's really great that you can see both of them, but they're not looking at each other.
Yeah.
It's very effective.
Yeah. And then there is that turn, and you just see her.
Yeah.
Then it just becomes a standard.
Well-
But yeah, but it does. It turns at a really dramatic moment.
Yes.
Where she's like throwing something back in his face.
And then they start to joke about
Yeah.
how she teleported to the Isle of Dogs or something.
Yeah. And by the way, of course, Jack has handcuffs.
Of course he does. So the doctor agrees and takes her to a meal. He gets the bracelets from Jack and attaches them to Blonde so that she won't escape. During the dinner, she attempts to kill the doctor more than once, and we get we start off with a Princess Bride reference almost. And when these attempts fail, she begs him to have mercy and let her go.
I'm watching that tonight just now, just like made me laugh even more about what we were saying about like you just tried to kill him twice,
And you beg
Three
for mercy.
times.
3 times, and then you just
Poison, dart, and gas.
And
With,
the-
and talk about Looney Tune sound effect. The
dart?
The dart.
Oh, it's awesome.
And the doctor counters them all very well. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else noticed the background people. They did really well. They just looked like they were actually ordering.
Just eating and
What do you
having
want
fun.
to eat? They did well.
That's so funny because I did think that.
One thing that I was thinking, I know you mentioned it in Father's Day, but this really felt like the cheap episode. I don't know if
This is
this is the cheap
Oh,
episode.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is the
This
cheap
like,
episode.
No effects and
Yeah,
But
this
I think
is
that helps
this is
it
a
so
play.
much because
Yeah.
you don't have that same duality of the physical suit and then the CGI.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, she's in the suit.
You know, so this
Yeah,
is
they
just
didn't do
one,
any
and they didn't do
CGI.
a lot of her.
But
in
it's
that
even
suit,
even more than that because
And you don't see her much outside the suit.
which is great.
But even that's sort of one of the problems I sort of have with this episode. Even though I was just telling Auburn that every time I watch it, I like it more because a lot of what the logic of this episode is done through dialogue and exposition. It's done well, but because it's not actually happening, they're just talking about things that did happen. It's all theory, like and debating over the death penalty and all these different feelings and emotions. Not a lot actually physically happens. So every time I see this episode, I find myself saying, "Oh yeah, that's what goes on in this episode," because it's not very memorable aside from the main things that happen because it's not doing much physically. So
And to me, it's totally worth it. Just it is like a 2-person, a little, like a 1-act 2-person.
yes, it's very
play.
well,
yeah.
and I like that.
You know, My Dinner with the Doctor.
Yes.
That kind of a thing. But I love that. I
Donuts.
love that.
I don't not like it, like I said, and I like it every time I see it. But I do find that I think I don't.
Right.
When it comes,
I can understand that.
Oh, this episode. All right, I'll watch it. It's in my queue.
Yeah.
And then I watch it, and I think it's really good.
But back to the title of the episode, Davies stated that he originally wanted to call this episode "Dining with Monsters."
Really? Yeah. Oh.
So they're doing the dinner, and then meanwhile, Mickey tells Rose that he has been seeing someone else. They argue that Rose has just left him behind and will always choose the Doctor.
Which was really a good scene for Mickey.
Oh
to have. But it was just devastating because he realizes she calls and I dropped everything to get here. It's just, what have I become? What am I doing?
And all she
and
does
he'll
while
do
she-
it, and he knows that he'll do it again.
Yep.
It's not like anything he's going to stop. He's like, I will always be there. It's just sad, Mickey.
We need to get him a copy of Codependent No More.
I do like that. There's a lot in that scene that I like. One of the more minor things that I like is she explains that they have had other adventures that we don't see. I love that because to me that makes it very real. I'm not one of those fans of shows that the only thing that we ever saw was on the episodes. More happens, more goes on. We don't know them. We will probably never know them, but it broadens the world, and I like that a lot.
Yeah, the one place she mentions is they've been to Justica, which is a star system that they visit in the new series adventure novel, The Monsters Inside. So that's another thing that's explored outside of the show. So while Mickey and Rose are having this moment, a rumbling interrupts their argument, and Rose runs in the direction of the TARDIS, leaving Mickey behind. At the restaurant, the Doctor and Blon also feel the rumbling and run to the TARDIS as the Doctor yells that the rift is opening. When they arrive at the TARDIS, Jack explains that the extrapolator just went crazy and is opening the rift. And I'd like to point out that the extrapolator is very blue in this the lighting. It like kind of blows out in the camera. It's weird. Again with that blue motif. Somebody just really likes all those blue LEDs.
Yes, you do.
Oh, yes. Blonde grabs Rose by the neck and tells them that the
with her alien arm.
Yes, and we see the glove come off.
Yeah.
Literally and physically, and
I think it's a figuratively. I like that.
and the Slitheen claw comes in, and she tells them that the extrapolator has a backup program to utilize any advanced technology it finds to open the rift.
So that was her plan all along.
Plan B.
I think it was
Plan
Plan B
B.
because
Well, yes.
yeah, because if the power plant didn't work, then she knew that somebody with more
The only
advanced
reason
technology,
the only reason the power plant wouldn't work is if somebody came.
with more advanced technology,
Right.
and then that's yeah.
So
So
that was a clever writing
oh yeah,
bit.
it's not like convenient. It's
Yeah.
actually
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
you think
because
it's
it is-
convenient when the moment it happens.
Exactly.
But then, it was a setup from the beginning, and then it
Yeah.
makes sense.
To protect itself, the TARDIS opens its core, and Blonde looks directly into the heart of the TARDIS. This de-ages her back to before birth, leaving her as a large tendrilled egg.
She's an egg.
She is an egg.
She's an egg.
And
And by the way, this is literally Deus Machina. Literally.
Deus Ex Machina.
Deus.
Here it mentions that, or I think Russell says this. The resolution is the deliberate Deus Ex Machina regressing Margaret so that can start anew, although Davies remarked that the resolution did not come completely out of nowhere as the TARDIS's psychic link has been already established.
Yeah, they did say the TARDIS has a psychic link, and she does say thank you. Mm-hmm. So
Yes.
it seems like the TARDIS was saying, I can give you a second chance.
Like talking to her, but we couldn't hear it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So there seemed to be something else going on there that we're not privy to, but fill in what you want.
Yes,
So it was.
absolutely.
It still came out of nowhere.
Sure.
Well, and certainly they set up the technology of the gods, and I think they even call the Doctor a god. So, for anybody that doesn't know, Deus Ex Machina means God from the machine. It's
or Machine of the Gods or something.
or Machine of the
whatever.
Gods. Yeah, in the theater, it's when everything's going to hell and something big happens that
Really
comes
convenient.
out of left field. Yes.
Yeah. So open up the TARDIS, turn on the biggest light you can find,
And
And
the miracle
scene.
happens.
and she's an egg.
But the TARDIS saves the day. I mean,
I mean, I can
not
accept
somebody using
it.
the TARDIS. The TARDIS says, no, you're going to destroy me? I don't think so. And
Yeah.
opens up. It's like,
I mean, I can accept it because it is the TARDIS. I mean, it wasn't the sonic screwdriver doing this.
Right.
So
And
that it
also-
is the TARDIS, it's kind of like, okay, all right, I kind of buy it, but still, a little convenient.
Yeah, I mean, I get the psychic link, and I like all that, but that literally makes it godlike. Like, it basically makes
Yeah,
it
it does.
makes it like, well, then almost everything bad that actually happened, that the TARDIS was in the vicinity of the TARDIS, could have just fixed it.
I kind of agree with that.
So, but I think it was just. I think your brain, when you're watching it, is sort of playing catch up with what actually happened and finds it interesting. So you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you don't think about it till you do a podcast.
And is this the first time in this series that we learn that the TARDIS is alive?
Sorta.
I don't think,
think so.
has it been mentioned before? I don't
No,
think so.
it talks
Just
about,
that
like
it's,
you said, like
it's
got
powerful and it can
Yeah.
get into your brain.
Yeah,
But
this is
not
the-
that it has
yeah.
a sentience.
it's more
to
than
it.
just a machine. Before
Yes.
it was, this is a really incredible machine.
Yeah.
And it is a bit of a setup for the end of this season.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Doctor and Jack quickly disconnect the extrapolator and reseal the riff. Rose goes,
Yeah, they just never say how they do it. 'Cause Jack said he already disconnected it, but it's somehow
If the
still connected.
TARDIS can make a lady an egg, then it can.
They just moved all the switches to the right.
Yeah,
That's right.
They moved all, that's how
Literally.
they did it. They did say
Thank you. Okay.
that one,
well
and then
done.
one of the switches went to 11.
we'll be right back.
Oh, and speaking of fun sound effects, well, we weren't, but we did earlier. They used it twice in this episode, but they have that typical double thunderclap.
Right,
that,
right.
I mean, that is one of my favorite sound effects ever. I mean,
Yeah.
it's in Star Wars when Luke goes into the trench. You
And he
get a
gets-
thunderclap.
And he gets a little cooked.
Yeah, but it's just kind of
When
like
did it happen here?
It happened when
The
when
rumbling.
you see the TARDIS, when you see the
rift.
visual effect
Oh, okay.
of the light going up into the sky above
I'd
the
have to
TARDIS,
listen to it again.
and you just hear that boom boom twice, and it's just kind of like, and I think it's when Rose is running,
Yeah, and all the cracks in the
or right
concrete.
before that, right?
Yeah.
You see her under the bridge and she stops,
Yes.
and you just hear this boom boom. And then again at the end, you just hear boom boom. It's like that is just that must be a cheap sound effect that everybody is in everybody's machine.
Yeah.
And they just threw it in there, and it's awesome.
Like the Wilhelm scream.
Or the visual lightning that they use and everything from Frankenstein.
Yes.
Every science fiction show that has, we need lightning. Okay.
Here we go. Rose goes back to find Mickey. He sees her looking for him, but leaves without her noticing. She returns to the TARDIS where the Doctor says that they will wait for him if she wants to. But she replies, no, he can do better. The Doctor has the TARDIS leave for Raxacoricofallapatorian, planning to leave Blon with her with a different family so that she can have a second chance in life.
No longer a Slitheen.
And she actually says he deserves better. Doesn't she?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
he
better
can.
can do better.
I thought it
it's
was he
deserves.
can do better.
I think it's deserves.
I think deserves.
Okay.
Yeah, he deserves better, which is a little bit
I don't know.
like more heartbreaking.
Well, also, then they say that Blonde can have a second life. And Rose says that would be nice.
Yes.
A second chance.
Yeah.
A second chance.
It's like she realizes she messed up.
Yeah, she blew it.
Yeah.
Just using him.
Yeah.
So in this episode, we get the return of Noel Clarke as Mickey Smith and Annette Badland as Margaret.
Yay.
Every time Mickey shows up, he's cooler and cooler.
He's getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he stands up for himself more and more.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I guess it's a great, one of the best character arcs in television history.
Absolutely.
Somebody can't stand so much to someone who you think you want to see more.
Yeah. This location of the Roald Dahl Place will develop later in the Torchwood series.
That's the name of the plaza.
That's where that's where the rift.
Shall we pick that name up that you just dropped?
Sure.
I don't know how to
Oh,
pronounce his
nobody's picking it up.
name. The name of the plaza where the TARDIS is.
It's after the author of
Charlie and the Chocolate
Charlie and
Factory.
the Chocolate Factory and James and the Giant Peach.
Was he Welsh?
He must be.
I don't-
I mean, I
They
didn't know that,
disclaimed
but
Is that the real name of the
Yes.
place?
Yeah.
The location.
What is that building with all the words on it?
it's a theater.
Yeah.
It's a theater. Are the words from something he
It's
wrote?
in Welsh.
No,
I don't think it's-
so. But I'm pretty sure what happens is if you look at it in one angle, it's in Welsh, and if you look at it from a different angle, it's in English.
Oh, like the TARDIS.
And I don't know what the quote is. I used to because I read it in some Torchwood.
That's where they
thing.
make the grape jelly?
Maybe. Or the something.
Went over my head on that one.
And I do know that they had trouble filming there.
Because it was cold.
Well, yeah, it was freezing, and they'd filmed a lot there with Torchwood. Not that anybody knows what Torchwood is, but that monument that the TARDIS is right in from with the water dropping. If the wind was like over
it would blow
5
on them.
miles per hour, they automatically turn that water off.
Oh, so the continuity.
The continuity was awful for them because it was like, the winds are going to come get the scene done. So I know that they always had trouble filming in that location.
God, if sound wasn't bad enough.
And even like the beginning of this episode, a lot of the shots of that location, the lens was just full of droplets. I don't know if you guys noticed
I didn't
that.
notice that, no.
Watch it again, you'll see they're out of focus.
I
But,
will from now
but they are
on,
there.
thanks.
Yeah, you won't see anything else. I really like the acting in this episode. I thought they did a great job.
I think
gonna
we should
even-
talk a little bit more about the conversation, the dinner.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, I'd
You know?
like to also just mention, even the guy in the very beginning that she kills, I was watching it today, I'm like, this guy's a really good actor for someone, who's got like a bit part who gets killed in the first 2 minutes.
Do you want to know why?
Yeah. All right, let's hear it.
Well, here we go.
The actor playing Mr. Cleaver is William Thomas. He had previously appeared as Martin the Undertaker in the 1988 classic series Remembrance of the Daleks.
Oh, that's a good one.
This makes him the first performer to appear in both the original and the current run of Doctor Who.
My
Nice.
theory was my theory was that this guy probably doesn't even know what Doctor Who is. He's probably a really good stage British actor. They just called him in. He's just like, I don't know what this is. I'm just going to be an actor because I'm a very good actor. And then he did a really good job, but obviously I'm wrong.
And he also goes on later to play Garrett Cooper. Is that how you say that?
In Friday the
The father of Gwen Cooper in Torchwood.
Oh. How's it spelled?
Geraint. Oh, Geraint.
Too Welsh for me.
Geraint. Anyway, back to the calligraphy on the
Could be
building.
John for all the how you spell things in Welsh.
On the building, the English translation is creating truth like glass from inspiration's furnace. The inscription in English reads, "In these stones, horizons sing." And the other thing is in Welsh, and I'm not going to attempt that at all.
But the conversation at dinner,
The dinner in bondage.
yeah, the I call it the let one go conversation because it starts off silly. You know,
Yeah,
where
with the kid
very
with the-
cartoony,
yeah.
and the I'm trying to kill you, and he sprays her, sprays her breath,
And then the
yeah,
Yeah.
and then it turns serious, and it gets really, really deep. And I love that he says, when she's talking about, is it Kathy?
yes, Kathy.
Because he's all-
And just today, she's still. I didn't kill her. She's still around. She's in the city somewhere right now. And he says, "Oh," and that's where he begins so you let one go, and that's how you're able to live with yourself. You're able to do that. And every once in a while, just for some odd reason, you just let one go. And she comes right back at him. Only a killer would know that. And then she turns it to, "Doctor, you're a killer. Let one go.
Yeah.
Let it be me." And I love that. I mean, that scene in the restaurant for me is the whole episode.
Oh, absolutely.
Very well written.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And even she mentions being fed to venom grubs. These creatures appeared in the first Doctor serial, The Web Planet, 1965. So there's a lot of references in this, and I was not expecting that.
No, yeah. Russell was having fun.
Yeah. I mean, he does it better than some of the Moffat episodes.
I also liked
we'll get there.
how she then turned it also to family and growing up and saying, I was raised this way to be a killer. And she says she never got the chance to be ordinary. And that's one of those,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
buttons
Motifs.
that she knows, or she might not know, but that she's attempting to hit the Doctor with. Like, let me be one of those ordinary people that, are the salt of the universe.
Right. Right. That's a good point.
Which is why that woman's name was
And Kathy Salt.
Kathy Salt.
I just
Wow.
don't know. So hard.
There's so
She's
many
going to get a
layers.
second chance, but does she deserve it? And
Well,
they
it's-
have the whole argument about she had to commit her first kill at 13.
Well,
she
I
didn't
kinda-
have that ordinary life.
Yeah, but I see that as that. I don't know. I can't. Whatever. That Margaret is dead. It will be another. Like if you told like
Blon is dead, and now
Blon is-
Margaret has a
well,
chance.
well,
kind
yeah.
of. No, I mean just trying to,
yes.
to put it in a frame that
Right.
if
So
you're listening to it, you can try and separate the two.
right. That's
Blon
sort of-
was the Slitheen, and
she
now
became
Margaret's going to
Margaret,
be
yeah.
some other family.
And that's kind of the way I look at it. It was like we got justice. She's gone, but at the same time, you're not taking a life. You're ending some bad life and transforming it into something that will hopefully be good, unless she's raised again by murderers.
That's an interesting question. Does she deserve it? It's like, well, no. But the way the circumstances played out.
But another interesting question would be: would another Doctor incarnation do the same thing?
Oh, probably not.
Do what, though? Because it was the
Would the
TARDIS.
fourth Doctor? No, but
Like,
there's a bond between the Doctor and the TARDIS. It's like he knew, and he wouldn't let the TARDIS do something, and the TARDIS wouldn't do something that would be.
It's
that
almost
the
like-
Doctor wouldn't approve of?
Well, no, I think the TARDIS would. We've seen that coming up.
Yeah.
But it's just, would he have given that possibility? We know that looking into the heart of TARDIS, or we find out, can do a lot of different things. It's not just
I don't know.
reversing someone. It's just
Yeah,
one of those.
The sixth
it's
Doctor probably would have just killed her.
that's what, yeah.
It's just interesting ideas of would other incarnations follow the same thing, give her another chance? Would other ones step on the egg and crack it?
Yeah, that's the thing. They could have stepped on the egg.
Other Time Lords would. I don't know if
Yeah,
Doctor would.
definitely other Time
Well,
Lords
I
would
also think this incarnation of the show is much more advanced. I haven't seen the original series, but that was more good versus evil, black versus white.
Right.
This is
The evil guy never
tell me
had
what
any
you really
redemption.
feel. Yeah,
And this one's still with the phones not being guns. So this is definitely
Yeah, it was
try and find another
yeah. Even
alternative
that, even
decision.
even the phones not being guns is a commentary on the death, on violence and
Right.
death and things like that. There's a lot of layers going on here.
Oh, yeah. Anything else?
I wonder how it plays in England because they don't have the death penalty. I think most of Europe doesn't have the death penalty.
Maybe it was
And that's something that they think is extremely barbaric.
Yeah, they're probably just commenting on us.
Maybe. Well,
Like Russell,
maybe.
like
maybe.
because you know Russell.
But yeah, possibly. Yes.
yeah,
But I'm wondering, like, when it plays in America, there's a lot of Americans that are either for the death penalty, against the death penalty, or it's still like an active debate, is what I'm getting at, right? So people are kind of like, they still weigh the pros and cons of it. But in Britain, it's kind of settled. So I'm wondering if presenting that to an audience where she's, where it's like, well, if this is really England, they wouldn't take her back. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Like the Doctor's stance is something counter to what they're used to.
Yes.
And so
Yes. Would they react differently to it than an American audience? Because an American audience is like, well, some people are going to say yes and some people are going to say no. And I'm wondering if England is like, no, the death penalty is bad. Well, then would you take her back? And it's like,
Right.
giving them that moral pause.
right.
Whereas in America, in America, it's a little still, we're still debating it. So it's like, yes, we still think of these things all the time.
It's almost like the point of writing this episode was to point out, like, yes, the death penalty is bad, but not having the death penalty is bad too. And the only solution is to take their life from them and start them over. It's almost like that's, but you can't do that. I think that's sort of.
That's why it's extremely Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah. It's almost like that structure came first out of everything else, and they wrote the story around, which is how you're supposed to write stuff anyway. But it was very good if that was the plan, and it all kind of goes together. Because in reality, if that's the debate, that is the debate. Like, what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
Be born again?
Well, he found a way to beat the no-win scenario.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Joshua in War Games.
I'm going for Kirk here,
What's that?
I'm going for Kirk.
Kobayashi Maru.
Oh, all right.
Although Joshua works too.
It's interesting they didn't give Jack like a real voice in it, and he would have been, the American viewpoint.
true.
Right?
Yeah.
I wonder.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was kind of gone the whole episode.
He was eye candy.
Yeah.
He was underneath the TARDIS.
Yeah, he was just fitzing around in the TARDIS.
Yeah, he didn't even get to go out to dinner or anything.
We went to breakfast.
Or
No, they
whatever.
went to the dinner, but
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
out to.
But not to the dinner.
That's
He
Well,
certainly
just the
he
two of
certainly
them. That
didn't
was-
get to go to the hotel room with
Yeah.
Rose and Mickey.
That'd be funny if he's like, when Mickey and Rose were having that conversation, like, you guys still using that hotel?
No, you just walk up and go, I've got a key, let's go.
Anything else? Would we recommend this to a new Who viewer? Alburn.
I'm going to decline this one. Maybe on more viewings, I would like it more, unravel all of the layers, but it's not my favorite. And I felt, the acting was really great, but the Deus Ex Machina, also the twist of Margaret just didn't sit with me right. Like, cause I was rooting for her to really change, not to have something change her. So no, I would not recommend it.
Josh.
No, because the same reasons, but also there's all the really good things about this episode. You just have to be familiar with the world and the shows, aside from the super obvious, but the stuff that, like, well, why would the Doctor act that way, or why would this person be that way, and everything going on with Mickey and Rose, like, that doesn't even, like, if it's someone who hadn't seen the show, it would make no sense. Ish.
Brian.
I'd say no, but with that said, I love this episode. And this is one of those episodes, I have it in almost every show that I watch, where I totally get it when people don't like it. I totally get it when people trash it. I love it. I love this episode. I think I love the fact that it's just two people talking, and it's great. But no, I would not show this first to a person, because what Josh says is right. You know too much. You need to know.
You need to know
what more, and also that the whole Mickey Rose thing it doesn't move the plot.
No.
That is not plot stuff. It's totally just in their character arc. You pass. They pass through this episode. You don't need it. You could pull it right out and still have the exact same episode. but I like it.
Yeah, but you need it for the long haul. with
The long haul, but
Oh,
not this
yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
And we're in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like you need to see the beginning. You need to see where it's going. So no, I wouldn't. But when the person finally saw it, I would really hope that they would like it, because then I'd have somebody to talk
Agreed.
about it with.
Frank.
This started out as a fun episode. I mean, the whole music when Mickey gets off the train, the music that they have when they're going to dinner is kind of a fun la music that you see a montage of going to see the city,
yeah.
you know, when they're going out to their executions dinner. So it had some fun aspects, but when you start looking at it, everything just unravels. You can't really try and find layers in this. This is just a surface episode. You know, the whole idea that she comes back as Margaret doesn't pan out if you watch the other episodes, because they wanted to all go out with this glorious being naked and free, and then now we're all going to get the bomb. So she had no time to go get this same skin suit.
Yeah.
You know? Just all these little details that you just go through the whole thing going, this doesn't make any sense. It doesn't work. So I don't like it, and the more you look at it, the more it just unravels. It has some fun parts. It has some good scenes and well-written scenes, but overall, no, I wouldn't want anyone really to see this until
They're ready.
way into the show. And
They're
then
able to be.
this is, to me, one of the lower ones.
See, this is why I have no one to talk to.
I forgot this one bit I want to bring up before I render my verdict. Billie Piper had some scheduling issues. I think her uncle died, and she was replaced by a double. The first one you can tell is the wide shot of her running through the plaza.
Oh yeah.
And the cracks that appear. That's a stunt or a running double, I guess. And then the other one is when Mickey is waiting outside after the disaster happens, and she's looking for Mickey. You never see her face.
You don't see her face.
And it is a bad wig. It's a bad fake wig of Bill. It's just, no. I'm sorry, that's one of the things that's...
I mean, that's a shame, too, because that seemed a little weird.
Yeah.
It didn't quite ring true to either one of their characters. You know,
So what was there going to be otherwise? Scenes?
I don't know.
you might have seen close-ups of her.
Her face.
Oh,
or
but the
something.
things that
A
actually
little more
happened in those
concern
scenes were...
happened.
Yeah.
This double's name is Anna, and she was
Anna what?
I don't remember.
She's a person who is...
But she was John Barrowman's driver to get him from set.
Anna Driver, yes.
Cousin of Minnie?
Huh?
Cousin of Minnie.
Yeah, cousin of Minnie
No, she
Driver's
drove a
cousin.
Minnie.
Oh, she drove... Anna Cooper.
I would also say no to this episode just because you need the history to really appreciate this
Appreciate it,
episode.
I
This-
thought you were going to say no because, boy, that running double was just terrible. Because you said it's like
Well, no
before
offense
I
on the double.
no, because he said before I render my verdict, I wanted to give this other tidbit of information. So the running double. So she just ruined it for me.
No, I was just working on a tangent, and that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we won't recommend this to a Who Knew viewer, despite all the good things we have.
Who you were.
Yeah. Despite all the good things we have to say about this episode, so
Don't watch it first.
Yeah, don't watch it first.
No.
But in
Yeah,
the
you can
scheme of
watch it.
things, it works just fine. So we will.
Who are we saying that to? Because no one who hasn't been watching it is going to be listening to this anyway.
No, but it's like the whole idea was if you have somebody that hasn't seen it,
You want to
Right.
introduce
Don't
them?
show them
Introduce
this
it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're thinking,
That's-
well, this is what I'm up to. Maybe they'll watch it with me tonight. Don't do
Don't.
that.
right?
Go do something else.
Yeah, do
Like I said, there are some.
And by the
fun
way,
points
that's our
there.
shtick.
I know.
That's what we do. This is the
And-
11th episode.
Right?
Does Margaret deserve a second chance? Would you take her back home to certain death? Let us know what you would do. Email us at whoknewpodcast@gmail.com.
It's my shtick. Is saying what?
So we'll see you guys next time when the future becomes the present.
You've just listened to an episode of Who Knew?
Our wonderful theme music is by Michael Grady. You can find his work at theuniverseexplodes.com.
You can also find this show on several places. Follow us on Twitter at Who Knew Podcast. Subscribe, review, and listen to us on iTunes and Stitcher or our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Who Knew Podcast.
All our episodes are on whoknewpodcast.com. You can leave comments there or email us at whoknewpodcast@gmail.com.
This podcast is inspired by Doctor Who, the longest-running sci-fi show in history, and especially the revival spearheaded by Russell T. Davies.
Thanks to Russell, Sidney Newman, Verity Lambert, Ron Grainer, and all those involved in the adventures of our favorite Time Lord.
Your work continues to inspire and entertain.